any Democrats in the House? Him, that, it, they, me, he, she, bippity boppity boop. Did I miss anybody? No? Okay. Welcome to our fundraiser for the one and only Commissioner Steve Balich. For those of you who don't know Steve yet, he is the glue that binds together the Republican Party here in Will County, and I'm sure you all agree. Steve is a beast. He's a fighter, and most of all, a patriot. He is exactly who we need to defend us locally of the evil threat we are facing with the godless Democratic Socialist Party. Where there is a proposed new tax, Steve will fight it. Where there is even a thought to infringe upon our constitutional rights, Steve will be there to show rage and condemn it. I can't even imagine what our county would be like without him. The first time I met Steve, I was mopping, sweeping, getting my restaurant ready. Never met the guy. He walks in the door. He says, "Hey, how you doing?" He says, "I'm Steve Balich. I'm your cook." Or wait, I'm your Will County rep. Sorry, I didn't mean to tell you. Here I'm thinking, uh-oh, first time doing business in Homer. I got to give this guy an envelope with cash in it. Then I remembered and I told myself, hey, I'm not in Cook County. I'll be good. The reason Steve came over was for a fundraiser at my place, and very quickly I said, of course. And the rest was history. I wasn't a very political guy, but watching Steve talk at any of his events, I feel like I just came out of a Rocky movie. You just come out swinging and you're going to take on the world. I'm going to present Steve in a few moments, but first I'd like to lead us in prayer. Leading us in prayer today is Father Tom Loya of Annunciation Church. Please give it up for Father Tom Loya.
As Ruben said, my parish is right here in Homer Glen, Annunciation, Byzantine County Parish, here in Will Cook Road. Honored to be invited to be here. So let us pray. We give you thanks, O invisible King, for by your immeasurable power you have fashioned all things and brought us out of non-existence into being. And when we had fallen, you came down from heaven and were incarnate among us through the Holy Spirit and established your kingdom of heaven on earth. You left nothing undone. You brought us to heaven and gave us your kingdom to come. Therefore, loving Master, look down upon us who bow our heads to you, for we do not bow to flesh and blood, but to the awesome God. Bless our government and our civil authorities. Let them govern in peace, O Lord, that in their tranquility we may lead a calm and quiet life in all piety and holiness. Look down mercifully on your servant Stephen. Bless the course of his life. Grant his every good petition, as is your good will. Grant him fortitude, integrity, prudence, wisdom, health, long life, and salvation. Bless this place. Bless its owner, all who work here, all who visit here, all who patronize this place, and make it a peaceful and prosperous place. And bless the food and drink that is served here that we enjoy this evening. For you are holy, our God, we render glory to you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and ever and forever. Amen.
I present to you today the only man who can get away with a campaign slogan that says, forget about it, I'll take care of it for you. Steve Balich.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out. And I ain't going to forget about it. You're going to hear some interesting people today. And everybody has the same intention. Back over there, we have IBO. They're signing people up with the ISRA. They're defending our rights, so we need to have everybody to be part of the ISRA. Because those bums want to make Illinois the same as Virginia. And the only people we have to help us stop it is them. The Illinois State Rifle Association. And they have IGO, April 1st of this year in Springfield. So let's have a round of applause for IGO and for the ISRA. Now I'm going to call two people up here to set the stage for this whole deal. Because I believe prayer is the most important. Thank you, Father Tom. And now we're going to hear some people singing. So, you guys ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, where are we at?
I got you.
All right, she does. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem. And this track is United States Navy Band.
Technical difficulty. What are you going to do?
Perfection takes time. It does. It takes time. Patience is a virtue. Everyone.
Okay, so we're going to take this not from Mexico, it's a cappella. Okay, not Acapulco, so. All right. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Thank you, and now it's my good privilege to introduce to you someone who is going to recognize the one who gives us life and the one who gives us this very nation and puts it all together for us and allows us to think we're doing it by ourselves. Okay, we're going to recognize the God of the universe, our God in this, and do it in song. So to sing that song, please say hello to the person by whom this restaurant and this establishment is named after. Say hello to Ruby.
Are we ready over there? Brother. Well, how's that? Everybody's food was good, right? Food's amazing, everything handcrafted, menu, everything by my amazing brother Ruben. And he's just awesome. Enough, he could, that's why he's, you know, restaurant owner, cook, not DJ guy. So, and we just need sound, that's it. You got it, and then we just need the sound, so that'd be great. Here we go. Perfect. Thank you. Woo! God bless America for real. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with clouds. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with clouds. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
That was really nice, very nice. And okay, we're going to try that again. Here we go. One more song. If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my God above to be living here today, 'cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. Yes, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, so it's time we stand and say, yeah. Yes, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Yes, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Oh, I love this land. God bless the USA. Amen. Amen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's my distinct honor and privilege to reintroduce the fellow for whom we're here tonight, raising funds and securing his position for him with you all the way, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, the master of ceremonies, the guest of honor, once more for Steve Balich.
I told you, we got to get patriotic and we got to get fired up. And you know what? We got John Kerner, our senator, here. And he's going to come up and talk to us for a few minutes, and he's got to run out to another place. But God bless him. He showed up here for our group. Come on up, John. I look like a ninja now.
I'm thrilled to be here. Steve is a great friend, and he is a frontline fighter. I ran in 2018 with Steve and Mike, and their work ethic was tireless, taking the fight to the Democrats here in Homer Township and throughout Will County. So integral on the Will County board. I'm just thrilled to be here in support of you, Steve. You do great work. And I know we have two huge issues before us in this state right now. We have all the ethics issues from the Democratic Party and the indictments and the arrests. And what do they want to do now? They want to gerrymander their districts again to keep themselves in power. And Steve is fighting for fair maps to make sure that they don't pick who votes for them. The voters pick who will elect them. Incredibly important. Steve's leading the charge here in Will County, and Steve's leading the charge here in Will County to fight this terrible idea of the progressive income tax. We are losing businesses by the boatload right now in the state of Illinois. This is going to expedite that. It's going to be on steroids. And it's incredibly important that we fight Pritzker's progressive tax. There's nothing fair about it. What we have now is fair, flat. Everyone pays in. So, Steve, God bless. Thank you for leading the charge here in Will County. And I'm just thrilled to call you a friend. Thank you.
Thank you, John. God bless you. A lot of you guys don't know, when I started this stuff, I was active in 1983. I was a ward committeeman for Bernard Epton against Harold Washington in Chicago. Most of you weren't even born then. But around 2008, that's when we started the Tea Party. How many people remember the Tea Party? Well, that was a movement. That was the people standing up. All grassroots people. And we made a difference. A big difference. And most of the people that are getting active again have remnants. Their kids are the ones doing it, but some of them are too. So we have people we don't call Tea Party no more. We call it conservatives. Debbie Carlitis, his husband, Tim, and me met at a restaurant and called Purple Onion. And you know what happened? We sat there because they threw a tea party and I threw a tea party, and I thought to myself, let's try and merge them. And so I called Tim up and he came out to meet me. And I'm a truck driver from Bridgeport. So, I don't really understand all the lingo. So he says, I'm a social conservative. And I thought that meant that he was a socialist. So I told him, I can't talk to you. You're no good. You stink. You're a bum. And, and I just let him have it. And I'm ready to get up. I didn't hit him almost. That's how pissed off I was. So then one of the guys that was there says, that don't mean socialist. And I go, what does it mean? And then he explained it to me. I go, oh, then we can be friends. And then we became friends. And we went through the whole movement. We formed the Will County Tea Party Alliance. And we had 7 cities that were Tea Parties under our banner. Debbie was our singer. She had Debbie K, remember that? And now she's still a singer. Now she's a professional singer. But anyway, Debbie's going to come up and say hi to everybody. She's going to be real brief because she's got to go to another one of these.
I love Steve. He's the best. He's the best. And we all become great best friends, just like everybody here. So, long story short, I am running for Will County Board 13, so I hope to be on the Will County Board with Steve. My husband Tim ran for Will County Board. He is there right now, but because of him taking a national position, he's no longer able to run. So he said, Deb, would you please run so we can hold on to that seat and maybe catch another seat. So I'm a Plainfield trustee right now. I am the chief of staff for Representative Mark Batnick. And now, with much encouragement, I have been asked to run for County Board 13. So I'm going to run, and I'm going to win, and we're going to stay, and we're going to hold on, and we're going to make some progress with Will County Board, because the socialists, the Democrats have gotten majority, but not this time, baby, because this time we are going to be taking over Will County Board.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. She gets on that board, and now they got to fight a man and a woman. So she can say the stuff that pisses off the women, and I can say the stuff that pisses off the men.
Oh my!
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I never would do that. Yeah, but I just get so fed up when I sit on some of those committees, and I look at the socialists that are in the room, and I'm going, there's only 7 of them. Well, why are the rest of these people following the example of the socialists? They're afraid of the socialists because they got big mouths. So there's a couple of us on the county board that figure, well, we got mouths too. So we become big mouths on the Republican side. So in case you don't know, back in October, after 4 months of arguing about protecting babies born alive, I talked to Democrat that's on the county board, and he's a minister, and standing up at the podium with me in support of babies born alive. We weren't even talking about abortion. We were talking about babies born alive. So he said his thing, and then I said, all the people in this room that are in favor of supporting babies born alive, please stand. Every Republican in the room stood. Every Democrat sat. So the Speaker of the Board says to me, hey, they didn't hear you. So I said, okay. So I said it again. Same thing. Every Republican stood, every Democrat sat. So this shows you what we're up against. Not only are they bad people when it comes to economics, they're bad morally and ethically. How can anybody want to say it's okay to kill a live baby? No, it's absolutely insane. But that's what we're doing. When Debbie gets on there, Debbie will join in our crew. We're going to call it a squad. I don't know what the hell we'll call it. But we're going to call it something. And we're going to make a difference. We're going to take them to the woodshed. And we're going to enjoy every second of it. Because I love making them squirm. Especially when they're wrong. And also I say prayers before I go after them. I tell God not to get mad if I swear. Because I do say the F-bomb every so often because I get too excited. Well, we got another guy, Nick Ficarella. He had to go to another event, but he has a speaker, Paul Powell, that's his campaign manager. Now, Nick, I've known him for about 20 years. Nick was the first lieutenant in charge of Homer Glen. So if anybody can remember back that far, it was like in 2001, 2002, because he was with the township also. Whenever I had something going and I had a problem to get it done, I called Nick, and Nick said, I don't know. But he says, we'll work on it, we'll find a way to do it. And guess what? We did. And Nick was there all the time whenever we needed him. When he left, things weren't so hot no more. It was a lot harder. But anyway, here's his campaign guy, Paul.
Hey, thanks everyone. So, thank you so much, Steve, for joining us, or inviting us. So, Nick Ficarella is running for Will County Executive, and that is an important position because just 2 months ago they raised their gas tax, and the Will County Executive was the deciding vote. Oh, hold it up here. I don't speak loud enough, sorry. So Nick, when he wins for Will County Executive, he will stop all new taxes. He will work with Steve. He'll work with the rest of the Republicans and stop all new taxes. He's a great executive. He's been Will County Deputy Sheriff's Officer and then Chief of Police at Braidwood, where he brought fiscal discipline back to the state, or back to the Braidwood Police Department. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Now, I decided that in order to make the world a better place where I live, not Illinois, not the whole United States, that comes next. But you got to start somewhere. So I decided to make Homer Township, my little square in the world, a better place to live. So I ran a bunch of guys and women to be committeemen. And then lo and behold, the ones that I ran had no opponents. So we win by default. So the first thing we did, we had a meeting and I said, I'm changing the rules. And I asked all the committeemen that are going to be elected March 17th if they agreed, and they all said yes. So what's going to happen is anybody that lives in Homer Township and votes Republican can be part of our group after we verify they vote Republican. George Pearson's here somewhere, but George is going to make sure I don't screw it up. But that's what we're doing here. So now I had 117 people on my email list now that want to be part of this group, and we're going to go all the way up to 200 with no problem. I said my goal was 100 by March. We got 100 by March. It was 102 before this last meeting. Now it's 117. We're going to be 500 by next year. And how are we going to do it? We got the Homer Township Young Republicans with Eric Roach, who's going to come up here. We got Stephanie Reinsmith over here. See that girl with the pretty hair and the ponytail that I like to pull? She's with Next Gen. That's a social group that's active throughout the state. And we got another lady, Monica Kinzel, who's going to start the Homer Township Women's Organization. So I'm going to tell you right now, this place is going to be a model for all the other counties and townships and cities, and we're all going to take it back and kick some can on them scoundrels called Democrats.
That's right, Steve, thank you. Without Steve, none of this would be possible. The Republican Party in Will County and Illinois would not be possible. Everyone relies on Steve all around the state because he is just such a vital asset to the Republican Party. And without him, we'd frankly be lost here. So thank God for Steve, honestly. So Steve came to me and asked me to start up the Homer Glen, Homer Township Young Republicans, because he recognized the fact that the next generation is where the future is won. And if the next generation is not in line with Republican principles and conservative principles, if we allow ourselves to be moved to the left and to allow socialism into this country, then we will follow the drain. We will go into the drain. We will follow Venezuela. We will follow China. We will follow Vietnam, Russia. And we cannot allow that to happen to the United States because we are the greatest nation in this world. And so, you know what? If you're in Homer Township and you have someone under 40, they're a young Republican, I encourage you to tell them to join the Homer Township Young Republicans. Thank you, Steve.
God bless the young Republicans. All right, good. Maroon, that's all I can say. I love them. Now I gotta put my glasses on so I can see. I'm over 40. Well, Tim Ozinga hasn't made it here yet, so I don't know if he's going to be here. But Tim Ozinga is running for state rep in Margot McDermott's old seat. And Tim is a conservative guy. He's an honest guy. He's a family guy. And he's a guy that we all got to get behind. And everybody sees his trucks. How much more name recognition can they get? But he's got a bunch of kids, and his whole family's really cool. They're all such nice people. So God bless him, and if he shows up, I'll just tell him to come on up here. But I think he's in Manhattan at a candidate forum. Is that correct? I just asked our partner over here. And later on, the last speaker is going to be Victor Santana from Eyes Right Open. You might have heard him on the radio on WIND on Saturdays at 5 o'clock, because we have a group that's dedicated to having President Trump win in Illinois. And the president is going to win. The goal is 54% of the vote. And I'm willing to bet people 2 or 3 cents on that. Well, with that, I'm going to have to call up the toughest guy in the room. Well, you are. I mean, you're talking special forces. You're talking about a guy that's really intelligent guy. He's got everything together. Mr. George Pearson, the chairman of the Will County Republican Party.
Thank you, Steve. First off, when everybody said that Steve is the reason why this party exists here in Will County, they are absolutely, positively telling the truth. The first time I met this man was also after he and Debbie and Tim and a few others, George, and they had formulated the Joliet Tea Party. And I came out to speak. I was fresh off the Navy boat, and literally I was home. I was upset about what was going on. I had moved out of Cook County because a Democrat had moved in and became mayor and jacked up our property taxes, and I said, that's it, we up. I packed up my family before we even found a house in Will County and started, getting ready to get the hell out of Cook. Once we got there, and I found out what was going on in Joliet with the Tea Party organization, I decided that I was going to show up and just see what was going on, because they were actually talking my cup of tea. They were talking about lowering the taxes. They were talking about getting government out of my bedroom. They were talking about getting government out of my property ownership. They were talking about getting government out of my school district. And I wanted to be able to send my kids to private school and get them out of the public school system. And this man was standing right there on stage talking about, you know what you ought to do? You need to start the Black Tea Party. What? Literally was my response. He goes, don't worry about it, I'll help you. And he did. Right now, that organization across the United States, we've got probably 780 strong, active, Black, Republican, conservative Tea Party members that are still speaking across this great nation. Our Facebook group, I think we still right around 25,000 that literally comment on a regular basis. And I say to this day that if it wasn't for Steve interviewing that day and walking up to me, and he actually complimented me on a jacket I was wearing and said, we dress alike. And I always said, that's the Sicilian in both of us, right? But I love this guy, and I'll do anything for him. And if it wasn't for Steve, like I said, I probably would not even be holding this post within the party. So I owe a lot to this man. So when I come up and I tell you that you should donate to folks like this, it's not a donation, it's actually a contribution, it's an investment. Think about what you invest in your business each day. Think about what you invest in your neighborhood, what you invest in your children. This is what you invest in. You know exactly where you stand when you're dealing with Steve. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. if he's going to tell you exactly how he feels about a situation. Sometimes to our own detriment. But I look forward to it. I literally go to the county board meetings just to see how many Democrats he can chase out of the rotunda each day. Because he does. And it's phenomenal. He sends them out crying. And if that's not the type of Republican and the conservative that we should be getting behind, damn it, I don't even know why we're even here. This is the man. Invest here. And invest with the candidates that he supports, like Tim Ozinga, like Debbie Krolitis. Because we need these folks down in Springfield, back on the county board. And some of the things that we're doing throughout Will County, we're trying to make sure that we're able to get the supermajority back. Not just a majority, but a supermajority back this election cycle. So go on the Will County Republican website, willcountyrepublicans.org. Find out the candidates in your area, in your neck of the woods that you can help out. Tell your friends and your family about them, because if they're on that sheet, that means Steve and I have already discussed that they should be on there, and we're standing behind him. So he's gave his blessing. So now I'm letting you guys know. Check him out. And if you've got nothing to do on February 20th, come out and join us. We're having a Roaring 20 celebration downtown Joliet at the Renaissance Center. February 20th. You know, it's our Lincoln Day celebration. And the gentleman that we're bringing in, his name is Kelly Shackelford. He is the foremost attorney in liberty and religious liberty rights. He literally argues before the U.S. Supreme Court and has a 90% success rating. Now, who else should we be listening to besides somebody that goes before the United States Supreme Court and bring us back records like that? These are the type of people we should hear from, and these are the type of speakers I'm trying to bring to Will County. So come out and support. Hopefully we'll see you on the 20th. And again, thank you, Steve, for the few minutes.
I'm going to say my own again. You can say that all night. We got Mike Brizzolone. He's my partner, and I'm his unofficial campaign manager for Congress. And he's over in Bourbon Street with mostly Democrats right now at a candidate forum, and he said he's going to try and get here, and he ain't going to be here at time because we're going to be done before he gets there. We're going to be getting boozed up a little bit. But I'm going to tell you something about Mike. I'm on the county board with him, and him and me are getting a little bit aggravated because they want to build a new courthouse in the city of Joliet, which Joliet's going to make lots of money off of because they get all the people who buy stuff in their area. So I told Mike, I says, I agree with you, Mike, because Mike said he wanted to do it on what they call the green space. That means a prairie. So on Route 6, we found a place for sale, and we decided to push it. So I was the bad cop, and he was the good cop, but we were really against them. So I would stand up and rail about all the benefits that you get for building a place from scratch instead of fixing up a dilapidated piece of garbage. So the next thing that happens is after about 4 meetings of hearing that stuff, the mayor of Joliet, this Italian guy named Durante, he calls me up and says, hey, you want to have breakfast? And I go, okay. So I made him go to the Purple Onion, of course. That's my spot. And he comes there, and he walks up to me, and he says, you think you're going to change your mind? Can I change it? I go, no. So then we sit down, and he looks at me, and I said, let's just talk about the old days. And we talked for a little bit, ate our breakfast, and he's going to pay the bill. And I go, hey, forget about it. We're going Dutch. Mike and me pushed that thing so hard that Joliet gave us $10 million. How about that? Wow. Nobody knows that, but that was our game plan, and that's what we did. Because if they didn't do that, we had the votes to go and put it on an open prairie space. So we can accomplish things with just 2 people or just 1 people. You don't have to have 1 million. You just need 1 person that's willing to stand up and fight. And that's what all this stuff's about. Now, Mike is against immigration. I should say illegal immigration. Because my family is an immigrant family, and there's lots of families, immigrant family. Mike's family is one side's from Poland, the other side's from Italy. And I'm from Sicily and Croatia. So we got really good mixes. But everybody's came from somewhere. So we want people to come, but we want good people to come. We don't want to have bums coming here that want to take our money and go on welfare, fill up our schools, do all the things that cost us money. I don't want to pay for an immigrant, an illegal immigrant rather. I keep saying immigrant, but I mean illegal immigrant. The hell with them. Let them go back to their own country. They want to take our guns away, so when the illegal comes up there and they rob you at gunpoint, you can't protect yourself.
After leaving the sanctuary city.
Just think about that. Just think about Joey Garcia. He's got a new bill. And the bill says, a new way forward act. You know what that means? We're going to fly airplanes to Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, and anybody we deported, we're going to bring them back, even if they're criminals. And we're going to give them a house and money and cars and everything else. And I say shame on us for that. But it's even worse. When I read the bill, I just about puked. It says there that if they commit a crime, you can't arrest them because they're a poor illegal immigrant. If I get pulled over for doing something wrong, like a DUI or speeding by going 30 miles over the limit, I go to jail. If I get pulled over and I got my gun in my pocket and I forget to tell the cop I got a gun, what happens? He could take my gun if he's a jerk. And then I got to get USCCA to come out and protect me. If I was an illegal, hey, you get out of here. Just don't worry about it. That is crazy. We're citizens. We deserve more than an illegal alien. USA, USA. So, you know, I just get so aggravated with all this stuff. I can't believe that I see the things I see. You know, when these people get on TV and say, hey, we're going to be just like Venezuela. Hey, it's going to be great. And then I think, when I saw pictures and it had a zoo and it said that's a meat factory. What the heck is that? Then I saw some of these states, if you hurt a dog or a cat, you have any violence to any animal, you go to jail. But you can have an abortion at the last trimester, you know, the baby's ready to come out and you can kill it, that's okay, but don't you dare touch a dog or a cat. If you run over a turtle egg with your car, you go to jail. Hell, I'd be driving and I don't see no stupid turtle egg. Come on. The same thing with a bald eagle egg. The thing falls out of the nest and cracks. If I'm by it, they say, hey, you did it. You're going to jail. You're going to pay a fine. That's nuts. Then you got the statues. You know, they're going to take down every statue because the guy was a slave owner. Hey, my family was in Sicily. Man, we had no slaves. Why do I got to be called that? Why do they talk about reparations for me?
The Irish.
How about the Irish? Yeah. Oh my God, those poor guys. I almost said the B word. You know what? It's terrible. But we got to remember we're a country that's made up of immigrants, but everyone that came here came because they wanted to be better.
They waited in line.
That's right, they waited in line.
No
I remember when
pass.
my dad had a trucking company, he hired these guys that were coming over from Italy, and they would get lost, and he sent me to like 79 Stony Island, and when I was in high school to go get them, they were lost. And I'd bring them back, and they slept in the trucking company. Because my dad had to sign papers that said that he was responsible to give them a place to live and a job. And all those guys, they became real successful in later life. But we don't even think about that stuff anymore. We just say, bring them in. What the hell? They're another vote for the Democrats. That's what they really want. But anyway, there's a better person that can tell you about this junk. His name is Victor Santana. And he's going to come up, and he's with eyes wide open. And he'll enlighten you about a lot of different stuff. Moses. Moses is his nickname because he's leading us to the promised land to get rid of Democrats.
Thanks, Momo. By the way, for all of you that don't know, Steve has a nickname. We call him Momo. And for those of you that don't know who Momo was, he was a very, very persuasive person back in the 60s, 50s and 60s. He was one of those guys that could convince by himself a whole group of people to do things. And it's just fitting that his nickname is Momo. But let me say this. I've known Momo for a long, long time, and we talk all the time. I was formerly a Democrat. I'm a recovering Democrat. Momo's my sponsor. Every week we go through my 12 steps. And we go through this process all the time. We talk about every aspect. And one of the things that we've done, back in 2010, I tried to get Momo to be the leader of the Tea Party for the whole country. We started America's Tea Party. But he didn't want to do it because he didn't see that we could get everybody together. But just a short 2 years ago, we started Eyes Right Open. And Momo can tell you right now, we are very excited because we see the future. We put a 100-year plan together. We're looking at making sure that we follow the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. We're not going to let anybody take anything from us. And I don't know if any of you got to see Bernie Sanders with Chris Wallace, who I'm not a big fan of, but I have been turning on. Bernie Sanders actually said our country is a socialist country. We're almost fully there. Bernie Sanders said it on national TV. And so we are that close. When you hear everyone say, we're an election away from losing our country, they're not lying. And thank God that we got guys like Steve Balich who've been fighting these last 10 years, tooth and nail, sometimes by himself. I know. I've witnessed it. So have you. It's amazing the things Steve has done. When I tell you, Steve can motivate people, I always joke, I can't let him near a mic because we're going to invade Poland tonight. And I want you to know, we're setting everything up at 9 o'clock in the parking lot. We'll go straight to Poland. But one of the things that really just blows me away about Steve is enthusiasm, his strategic process of getting things done. He looks at the room and figures out what he has to do and how he has to slice and dice to win. And that's what Eyes Right Open is. We follow that template of Momo because winning is everything. Because if we don't win 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, we're always going to be a step behind the Democrats. And excuse me, I call them communists. So we're always going to be a step behind the communists. We have to fight every step of the way. But let me say a few commercial breaks, just for lack of a better word. But for anyone that has an 18-year-old, a friend that needs extra money, we're working with the U.S. Census Bureau because it's part of the Constitution, and that's what Eyes Right Open is all about, making sure that we enjoy the fruits of the Constitution. And the Census Bureau is paying, out here in Will County, $25 an hour. $30-some out in DuPage. That's a beautiful thing for a part-time job. It's starting in April, and it goes all the way to September 30th. So those college kids, they can actually have a great job. We're going to put out the cards out there by the table so that everyone can grab one of the cards. All you have to do is put in ERO when they ask you, how did you hear about us for the Census Bureau? Just put down ERO, and I'll tell you what, you probably have a good chance of getting that college kid a part-time job, a neighbor who needs extra money, or anyone that's out there. But let the word get out, spread it out. But then also, over here on the side, we have Build the Wall t-shirts. If you're interested in getting a Build the Wall t-shirt, definitely time to grab one, because this is one of the few times we have it. That's one of the best sellers that we've had at Eyes Wide Open. Everyone loves that shirt. I don't know why. After Momo was talking about all those illegal aliens, how much we love them, why are we building a wall? But that being said, I want to say thank you for coming. Steve is an unbelievable guy. You just don't know. We talk quite a bit. I go through my 12 steps more than just once a week. It's probably every other day. And I am so happy that I got to meet Steve. And when I've introduced Steve to other friends that are Democrats, they find out, hey, Steve's one of us. We're all fighting the same battle. And without guys like Steve being the leader out there, we wouldn't be here. I guarantee. George Pearson said it best. Steve is the glue for this, for the Republican Party out here, but more importantly for the Tea Party. When it started, it formed, and it was working on all cylinders. I witnessed it. I saw what Steve did. It was amazing. I would have came over and joined the Republican Party back then, but I was afraid of the Republicans. Because as we saw with Mitt Romney, they'll backstab you every day of the week. So when we have guys like George Pearson and Steve Balich, it's easier for me to come over. And a lot of my other friends that are Democrats who are looking for a home. Thank you for coming. Good night. And let me give you back to Momo.
I forgot to read off all the people that were here that are elected or candidates. Dynamite, Rose Fiacco, his wife, Wiley Douglas, he's with Core Strategies, and that's a real conservative consulting group. And then we got Paul Wills, he's in the back talking to his buddies from the ISRA. And then you got John Barbush, he was our singer. And we got, I can't read the writing. Stephanie Reinsmith from Next Gen. She's our social coordinator. And Cindy Nelson, I can't say their last name. Caton is, my tongue don't work in that thing. And then we got Gretchen Fritz. She was here. She's running for Recorder of Deeds. And Annette Parker, she's our county board rep. She has 2 precincts in Homer Township. And then we have Dawn Dominani and Cece Demore. They were working the door for me. They're great people. Ruben, John Marshall. They're discussing how they're going to get this done. So the bottom line is that we're all Americans, we're all proud to be American, and if we're going to continue to be American, we got to stand up and fight against every rotten socialist that exists in our country. And I hope everyone agrees to never ever pay to stuff that are rotten socialist status. Socialism never works. It's a failed system and it sucks. So we are going to go out. And anybody that wants to join our Homer Township Republican group, it's the first in the whole state as far as I know that's doing what we're doing.
Or young Republicans.
And the young Republicans, but we got a great group. You just send me an email or call me because everyone should have my number. No, somebody that does. Are you ready, John? All right. John's going to close this out with a song because, you know what? I don't like boring fundraisers where you don't have any, it's got to have life. And if it don't have life, it stinks. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourself and you're going to hear from John singing a good song. Huh? Oh, he says 1 more minute to fix the thing. It's a good thing Ruben's back there because I couldn't fix it at all. I have no clue how to work that stuff. Well, an interesting thing was that our first meeting for the Homer Republicans with 30 people, the next with 45. Well, 33C grade school has told us we can use the school from now on because we're going to be way too big to be over here eventually. Because we're going to be at 200 before you know it. And our people are all gonna fight. See, if they had House of the Rising Sun, I'd sing for you. Tell a joke. My jokes I can't say in public.
You want a joke?
Should I turn this off? What do I do?
Cancel and